second part of maximum minimum. In this video, we will discuss about second derivative test, or we can say higher order derivative test, and questions on higher order derivative test. Before that, revision of previous video. In previous video, we have covered first derivative test. In first derivative, as you can observe here, that at x equal to c, value of function is 0. Before x equal to c1, slope of tangent is greater than 0, or you can say function is increasing. After c1, slope of tangent less than 0. In first derivative test you have covered, if f dash x changes sign from positive to negative as passes through c1 or any point in its domain, then you can say x equal to c1 is a point of local maximum. That is written here. Or in next step, here f dash x less than 0. At this point x equal to c2, f dash x equal to 0, and after c2 f dash x greater than 0. Here usually you can observe f dash x changes sign from negative to positive as passes through x equal to c2. Therefore x equal to c2 is a point of local minimum. Now a third situation arises. At this point function is not differentiable. If at any point function is not differentiable, and before that point function is differentiable, and after that again it is differentiable, then we can check maxima or minima without using x equal to or c f dash c3 equal to 0. At this point, since value of f dash x is not 0 or it is not defined, therefore before it positive and after the point f dash x is negative, then again we can say x equal to c3 is a point of local maximum. At this point again it is not differentiable. In this case, this is the examples of modulus function. Actually, you can observe in modulus function we can find maxima or minima, but at end points it is not defined as it is not differentiable. At x equal to c4 it is not differentiable, but we can find it is maxima or minima on the basis of this. Before it or before x equal to c4, f dash x is negative and after this positive. Therefore we can say x equal to c4 is a point of local minimum. If f dash x equal to 0 at any point or it is not defined, in both cases we can find maxima or minima using first derivative test. Greater than 0, in other words, also can say before c1 x equal to c1 function is increasing, after decreasing, then function at this point it is maxima. If nature of function is decreasing and after c2 it is increasing, then minima. Here again increasing, then decreasing, maxima. Here decreasing, then increasing, it implies minimum. In this pattern we can find local maxima, local minima, which I have covered in previous video. Now next we have to discuss about second derivative test. If any function fx is differentiable on I, means given interval, which is subset of domain of function, and c belongs I, then at x equal to c or x equal to c is a point of local maxima if at that point value of first derivative is 0 and second derivative negative, and fc is known as local maximum value of given function. at x equal to c. If first derivative is 0 and second derivative positive, then it is a point of local minima, and local minimum value we can find by putting x equal to c in the given function. Now third case arise, f dash x equal to 0 and second derivative also 0. If first derivative and second derivative at x equal to c 0, then we can say second derivative test fail and we can find local maxima, local minima using first derivative test. Or second option we can use here, higher order derivative test. Now working step to find the maxima minima using second derivative test. If any function given, first you find out f dash x, then put f dash x equal to 0 and find the value of x. Let x equal to c1, c2, c3 or cn. Then third step, find the second derivative of given function fx. Then fourth step, at x equal to c1, take first point and find out the value of second derivative. If value of second derivative at x equal to c1 negative, then we can say x equal to c1 is a point of local maximum. If it is positive or greater than 0 at x equal to c1, then it is a point of local minima. And value of second derivative at x equal to c1 0, then use first derivative case to find that point c is the point of local maxima and local minima. That is second derivative test. Or using first derivative test also we can find the point of inflection. Same process. If two values of x you are getting for x equal to c2, again follow same process. If value of second derivative for x equal to c2 negative, then maxima, positive, then minima, and value of second derivative 0, then you can say the second derivative test fail and use first derivative test to find maxima or minima or point of inflection. Now one more option you have, that is higher order derivative, by which we can check maxima or minima. It is same as second derivative test. Some more steps you have to follow here. Like in second derivative test, first find f dash x, first derivative equal to 0, find the values of x, c1, c2, c3 or cn. Then second derivative, if second derivative less than 0 at x equal to c1, then local maxima. If value of second derivative at x equal to c1 positive or greater than 0, then x equal to c1 is a point of local minima. And if value of second derivative at x equal to c1 0, then find the third derivative of the given function. Up to the second derivative test we have discussed, if second derivative at x equal to c1 0, then use first derivative test and solve the question. Now here higher order derivative test means again differentiate the given function and find third order derivative, and here put x equal to c1. If in third derivative at x equal to c1 is not equal to 0, then we can say x equal to c1 is a point of inflection. Point of inflection means at this point function is neither maxima nor minima. In next step, step 6, if value of third derivative at x equal to c1 is 0, then find fourth derivative of given function and put x equal to c1. Now in next step, if fourth derivative at x equal to c1 is less than 0 means negative, then x equal to c1 is a point of local maxima. If fourth derivative at x equal to c1 is greater than 0, then x equal to c1 is a point of local minima. And if value of fourth derivative is 0, then find out fifth derivative and put x equal to c1. And if fifth derivative at x equal to c1 is not 0, not equal to 0, then x equal to c1 is a point of inflection. Again, if fifth derivative is 0, then find out sixth derivative and follow the same process as step 6, 7, 8. You have done it. In this process, you can solve question based on higher order derivative test. Now some solve question. Find the maximum and minimum value of function y equal to x cube minus 3x plus 4. First, note down the function y equal to x cube minus 3x plus 4. Differentiate dy by dx equal to 3x square minus 3. Differentiation of x cube is 3x square minus 3 into x 3. 3 common, x square minus 1 square x plus 1 into x minus 1. For maxima or minima, first derivative equal to 0, dy by dx equal to 0 implies 3 into x plus 1 into x minus 1 equal to 0 or x equal to minus 1 and plus 1. Two values of x you are getting. Now, use second derivative test. So before that, first differentiate and find out second derivative. The value of second derivative is 6x. At x equal to 1, find the value of second derivative. 6 into 1 equal to 6, which is greater than 0 means positive. And if second derivative is positive at x equal to 1, it implies function is minimum at x equal to 1. And if you want to find minimum value in function, in place of x write down 1. Second point, x equal to minus 1. Find the second derivative, which is equal to minus 6 means negative quantity. If second derivative is negative means function is maximum at x equal to minus 1. So in this process, using second derivative test, we can find the point at which function is maximum or minimum. Now next question. Find the maximum value of function y equal to sin x plus cos x in the interval 0 to pi. First note down function and differentiate it. Dy by dx equal to differentiation of sin is cos plus differentiation of cos is minus sin. Then for maximum minima, dy by dx equal to 0, cos x minus sin x equal to 0, or we can say tan x equal to 1 or x equal to pi by 4. You are getting 1 point at x equal to pi by 4. Now using second derivative you can check at x equal to pi by 4 function is maximum or minimum. First note down second derivative. Second derivative equal to minus sin x minus cos x at x equal to pi by 4. Put here minus sin pi by 4 minus cos pi by 4. Value of sin pi by 4 means 1 upon root 2 and cos pi by 4 again 1 upon root 2. Further simplify, minus 2 upon root 2 or d2y by dx square equal to minus root 2 means you are getting a negative, means less than 0. And if second derivative is negative at x equal to pi by 4, it implies function is maximum at x equal to pi by 4. And maximum value of function we can write in function in place of x write down pi by 4 means sin pi by 4 plus cos pi by 4. 1 upon root 2 plus 1 upon root 2 equal to 2 upon root 2. Further simplify. Maximum value of function sin x plus cos x is root 2 at x equal to pi by 4. Now one more question. Question number 3, that is important for board purpose. So that semi-vertical angle of the cone of maximum value of a given slant height is tan inverse root 2. Now just concentrate on figure. Cone is given, semi-vertical angle x, that is assumption. If and slant height is given, therefore let slant height of cone as L. Therefore just use sin x. Sin x means perpendicular upon hypotenuse. Sin x means perpendicular upon hypotenuse means r upon L, or L equal to r. Radius of cone equal to L sin x. Similarly, using formula cos x equal to base upon hypotenuse, and we can find base for angle x is OB means height of cone, and height of cone equal to L cos x. Volume of cone formula 1 by 3 pi r square h. Put the value of r. Radius is L sin x. Height is L cos x. 1 by 3 pi L square into L means L cube sin square x into cos square x. Now dv by dx 1 by 3 pi L cube. First function sin square x, differentiation of second minus sin x, plus cos x, differentiation of sin square x is 2 sin x cos x, equal to 1 by 3 pi L cube sin x common. Inside the bracket sin square x minus plus 2 cos square x. Value of cos square x is 1 minus sin square x. Further simplify 1 by 3 pi L cube sin x in bracket 2 minus 3 sin square x, or 1 by 3 pi L cube, open the bracket, 2 sin x minus 3 sin cube x. If dv by dx equal to 0, or you can say for maximum minima dv by dx equal to 0, you will get 1 by 3 pi L cube 2 sin x minus 3 sin cube x equal to 0, or 2 sin x minus 3 sin cube x equal to 0, or 2 sin x equal to 3 sin cube x, or sin square x equal to 2 by 3. Therefore, cos square x we can write as 1 minus sin square x equal to 1 minus 2 by 3 equal to 1 by 3. And tan square x equal to sin square x upon cos square x, 2 by 3 upon 1 by 3 equal to 2. In this process, you are getting the value of sin square x, cos square x, and tan square x. Now find out second derivative, means d2b by dx square. d2b by dx square 1 by 3 pi L cube constant outside, and differentiate dv by dx with respect to x. You will get 2 cos x minus 3 sin square x into cos x, because dv by dx was 2 sin x, differentiation of sin is cos, and 3 sin cube x. The differentiation of sin cube is 3 3 is 9 sin square x into differentiation of sin is cos. At sin square x equal to 2 by 3, cos square x equal to 1 by 3, and tan square x equal to 2. Find the value of second derivative, because sin square x 2 by 3, cos square x 1 by 3, and tan square x 1 by 3 is of the same value of here, same angle. Therefore, put the value here, value of cos x, sin square x, and cos x. So 1 upon 3 pi L cube, 1 upon root 3, and 3 to just 6, minus 6 upon root 3 means minus 5 upon root 3 equal to minus of 1 upon 3 pi L cube 5 upon root 3, means we are getting a negative quantity less than 0. And if second derivative is less than 0, it implies volume of cone is maximum at tan square x equal to 2, or tan x equal to root 2, or x equal to tan inverse root 2. So semi-vertical angle of the cone of the maximum volume and of given slant height we can write as tan inverse root 2. I have written these three region. In examination it is possible to ask to prove that x equal to tan inverse root 2, already completed here. If it is required to prove that sin x equal to sin inverse root 2 upon root 3, you can use this result in the last. If you have to prove cos inverse 1 upon root 3, use this, cos square x equal to 1 upon 3, cos x equal to 1 upon root 3, and then you can prove this result. Now questions for practice. In question number 1, Find the maximum values of y equal to sin x plus cos x in the interval between 0 to pi by 2 in first quadrant. In question number 2, show that all the rectangles of given area, the square has the smallest perimeter. And question number 3, find the minimum value of 2x plus 3y where xy equal to 25. These three questions you have to complete and give your answer.